List. Well, again, like I feel like I need a soda. Do you call pop soda, or do you call it pop?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
call it anything. I call it. I just order it by name usually. It depends. I'll have a Coke.
you'll Coke, but what if you want like okay, Coke or Sprite or whatever. Welcome to another episode of Nerd Out. Wow, like the third one, you're just like your energy levels out. This is gonna be we're gonna actually kind of like a game, but there's no prizes to this game. But basically, their toy lines have been turned into cartoons. Cartoons have been turned into toy lines. Sometimes you like them equally, and sometimes you like one more than the other. So I figured we would just go down a list and say which one you liked better. Toy line, cartoon, or there's usually an equal.
Both, yeah.
I mean, you can like both, but there's always a preference. Like, we'll start right now, like GoBots. I absolutely prefer toy line, no doubt. Like that, there's no debate.
Unwatchable.
That cartoon is unwatchable.
Even silent, you can't watch it. It's just, it's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. I mean, it was definitely toys. And this one's a tougher one, Transformers G1.
Transform? A cartoon?
See, I would go with toy. The problem is I go to toy as far as the Diaclone stuff, but once it starts getting to post-movie, cartoon, because I thought the toys post-movie weren't very good. But I'm going to go with, like...
Yeah, I always wished the toys could do what they did in the cartoon. That one.
I always wish that the... I mean, I wish the toys, the cartoon looked more like the toys instead of being, like, cartoony. But it's a cartoon, so it's like...
you thought that then? I mean, the toys were so undynamic and shitty
I
looking.
disagree.
I mean, sorry,
I disagree.
You think G1 Prime looks good in robot mode?
Yes, I do. Especially as a child. Like, definitely. Definitely. I like the colors. I like the silvers instead of the whites. But again, I understand why they were changed.
Even for the movie. Even Transformers the movie. You're going to say that?
I like the mechanical look.
Because I misremember the G1 cartoon looking like the movie. And I think when you're talking if it's good animation, it's not even close. The toys sucked. I mean, I get it. They're cool. They were gimmicky, but, I mean... They're blocky as shit.
I mean, the toys blew my mind, and then the cartoon was fine.
Me too, as a
child. The cartoon was good. It was just that, aesthetically, I like the mechanical look. This is a good one. Wheeled Warriors. Because that cartoon
doesn't match.
It doesn't match.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
match.
it was really good.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember? It was a good cartoon.
Yep.
But then the toys were really great. But they didn't match.
Like, because the bad guy toys were like...
Yeah.
They didn't even match.
Right. Like, because they had, like, Jace... wasn't a part of the original toy line, and
they were all generic. The dudes, weren't they?
Yeah, they were generic, but the vehicles were really cool. I'm gonna go with cartoon because I think it was a really good cartoon.
Both.
Actually, that's both. Wow. So okay, let's say you're forced to pick one. Can you pick one? Is that?
No,
really?
Because the whole thing is I didn't have any of them.
I
always looked at them and I liked them and I thought they were neat, but
that's why I'm choosing cartoon.
Went there.
That's why I'm choosing cartoon because I watched the cartoon, whereas in the toy aisles I thought they were awesome, but nothing got me into buying one. All right, how about this one? Ninja Turtles. And we're gonna go with the original Ninja Turtles. Like, did you like?
When you the original cartoon or the comic book?
The toys versus the cartoon. Let's go. Because, like, the cartoon, they had the googly eyes, and in the toys, they had, like, white eyes, and they were kind of a little bit more terrifying, I guess.
God, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
On that one?
I'm going to go with Turtles toys. I like the toys. But the cartoon was fun. I didn't like the googly eyes is what it was. I
thought the comics were cool, but I didn't really care for the toys. And the cartoon, I watched a couple of them. Wasn't my thing.
I loved the cartoon. It was just, I just thought it was a different thing. M.A.S.K. That's a tough one. I love
both.
I'm going with toys. I love the toys. They were both good.
But I mean, the toys were really close to the cartoon.
They were.
So
you're
what's
right.
the difference?
You're right. I'm gonna say on that one, they are pretty similar.
I'm gonna go both because I needed both. They interacted like you got the toy nose like in the cartoon.
You're right. No, I think M.A.S.K. is a good example of like they both hit what they needed to hit. Thundercats. Cartoon, yeah. The cartoon was so beautiful and so well done. And the toys, I'm not saying I don't like the toys, but they were chunky, man.
They were chunky. The tank sort of wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
And, like, it was big in the cartoon. And, like, Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, cartoon. Here's another one like that, Silverhawks.
Cartoon.
I'm going toys. I like the chrome.
Okay.
But the cartoon was really good, though. That's a tough one. Because the
toys didn't have removable face plates. And
that's true.
Couldn't do it. Just, nope. Didn't.
That's a good point.
It showed them equally with both.
Here's
masked, unmasked, and the cartoon.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Here's a question for you, though. If they were to make a new line of toys, would you want them to be chrome-plated, or would you rather have, like, a cartoon color?
I think chrome-plated, because, I mean, I'm thinking they were supposed to be chrome in the cartoon.
Yeah, I think so, too. That's a good one, actually. Here, this one's easy for me. Masters of the Universe. Toy, yeah.
Cartoon was good.
It was goofy,
but it was
though.
cheesy. It's like, how dumb are you, Eternians? Like, you don't know that's He-Man? I mean, he's like, he doesn't even have to change his hairdo, you know? Yeah.
I remember the toys came out before the cartoon, and I remember, like, all the, like, promotional art for Masters of the Universe was like
hardcore.
Frank Frazetta, hardcore.
Yeah, it was like
stuff.
Conan style,
right.
like just expected blood and titties everywhere. And the cartoon was like real, like fair.
Yeah, it was like we have to give you a moral message at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Cringeor and Orko. Like, I'm
terrible.
sorry, like
wrecked it.
Yep. Prince Adam, Cringeor, Orko. 3 things that made the cartoon just absolutely.
Well, they were always the ones that gave you the PSA at the end of it too.
Of course. Here's another good one. Dungeons and Dragons. Do you remember that cartoon?
Yeah, oh God, yeah. That was a sweet cartoon.
The toys were great, but that cartoon was
They were almost unrelated. I mean,
they
were unrelated.
That's a good point. So, here's the question. Would you... And I guess the best way to look at it is, like, would you want them to, like, revisit the toy line? Or if they were to revisit the license, to revisit the cartoon characters? Like, that's tough because they were both cool. Like,
both.
Warduke was one of the coolest
awesome
looking things.
But he was never in the cartoon, was he? Yeah.
No, you're right. They were completely unrelated.
Warduke was one of my favorite figures.
Me too.
He was the only one I had out of that series. And, like, he showed up everywhere. He was in G.I. Joe. Star Wars,
in your adventures, and he was that scale where he could sort of adjust. Warduke and I had Northlord. Do you remember Northlord?
Which one was he?
He was the tall blonde guy.
Yeah.
He looked like a heroic sort of character for me as a kid, and I didn't like Strongheart because he had a mustache. I had a thing against mustache.
I wasn't into mustache either.
No, there's a thing about mustaches. G.I. Joe. Both. I'm going to go with both, too.
Yeah.
But I think if I have to pick one, I'm going to go with toys because, and here's how I'll explain it. If they were to do a Legends series, I would want them to be designed off the toys and not the cartoon.
Well, like, after, like, the first season of G.I. Joe, then toy. Like, I liked the first season or 2 of G.I. Joe, and then, like, after the movie, it got...
When Lieutenant Falcon got cheesy, and, like...
it got weird,
Sergeant Slaughter came in.
Yeah, the whole Cobra
Serpentor.
Yeah, that was weird.
Serpentor was the jump the shark moment, right?
Yeah, but he was still a sweet figure.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He was still sweet, but he was, like, the moment where it was like, holy shit.
I liked it, like, how it was sort of real with the hint of sci-fi. You know, because, Cobra, they were, like... techie.
Yeah, no, I agree.
A little bit of sci-fi and a little bit, and I liked it like that
too. Like, when, like, the toy-wise, like, the 85 series was, like, where it was, like, that great balance was just so spectacular. This one, I don't know if you'll be able to answer, but maybe you can. Power Rangers. I'm going to go with toys, I guess, because the show was
just bad.
Well,
but he was dubbed. I mean, it wasn't meant to be, like...
Plus, I think we were a little too old, right?
Oh, well, I mean, not for the toys, but to get into the show.
Yeah, I think so. Did you, like, I remember all my friends going to see the first Power Rangers movie at the Dollar Theater. Like, they probably got, like, a bottle of something and went to see it. And I did not. I've never seen it. I always wanted to see that movie.
Like, was it made for... Yeah. Was it like made for the U.S. market, or was it a Japanese movie?
I think it was made for the U.S. market. I love the new one. I love the new one. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right,
you know who Jason is, right?
Yeah, he's
the bad guy from
Stranger Things.
Yeah, I love that.
That is awesome, man.
I love that. I was so excited.
I really love the new Power Ranger movie. Probably way too much. Robotech, definitely. Oh, cartoon for me. I'm sorry. Over toys. I don't know. That's
I'm thinking. I mean, yeah, of course the cartoon.
Well,
but I mean,
do you go American toys or do you go Japanese toys?
Well, that's the whole thing. I mean, are we talking like both
vintage toys?
I mean, if we're talking U.S. Robotech toys, then definitely a cartoon. But if I get vintage, man, I don't know.
Like Takatokus.
Yeah, I mean, I love both. I mean,
I think one doesn't survive with the other, right?
Yeah, like, you have to have both, you know?
All right, that's a tough one. Voltron. That's tough because the cartoon dub was really poorly done.
But I loved that
cartoon. I did too. But, like, I haven't watched it in years. Have you? No, I heard it's pretty incomprehensible, but I don't know. I mean, the toys were so awesome, though. I'm going to go with toys simply because... there's nothing like having a Voltron in your hand. Like, the cartoon was fine, but...
definitely a toy, I think.
Yeah, that's a tough one. This might be a weird one, but X-Men. Like, were you more inspired by, like, the Toy Biz toys or that cartoon that came out in the 90s?
I like the comic book.
Me too. I'm going comic book.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know.
That one doesn't really fit in.
Yeah, I bought the toys to represent the comic book characters, not so much the cartoon.
Me too. Perfect explanation. This is also another one, like DC Superpowers. Like, I actually really like the cartoon, but that toy line still remains my favorite superhero toy line ever.
I don't remember that much. I mean, I've seen a few episodes and I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot, but I didn't collect Superpowers.
Okay. Well, I remember watching an episode and Firestorm, because Firestorm was like was not known to the masses, and I saw him in the cartoon and I immediately went out and bought a Firestorm figure. So, I mean, that's pretty inspiring when you can take such a secondary character, put him in a cartoon, and then all of a sudden I want him. Like, Firestorm was pretty awesome. Superpowers still remains the best, in my opinion, the best superhero toy line ever. Now, obviously, it's only 34 or 35 figures. But
that was a carding was awesome. They still look good.
Look great.
I mean, they're sweet. The size, the scale's good.
Yes. God damn, Superpowers. Exo-Squad.
Toy.
I'm going to go with toy, too, but I hear, and
I remember the cartoon was decent.
It's, from what I understand,
it's dark.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
My issue is I didn't watch the cartoon like religiously, and I think it was episodic, right?
Yeah, but it was at a weird time. It was like on Sunday afternoon or something like that.
I didn't watch it in that manner, so it's like I didn't have that like I can't wait to find out what happens situation. I remember not digging the animation, but the story was definitely like way above what was coming out.
It was dark.
Yeah. But the toys were really cool. My only beef with the toys was they were really glossy, and that bothered me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, they had a real high gloss.
But they did so much shit. I had a ton of Exo-Squad. Yeah. I loved Exo-Squad.
Me too. Especially for the time period, like the 1990s. We weren't getting anything like that.
Was that late 90s?
I think it was mid 90s.
Like
I'm gonna say like 93 to 95. Yeah, somewhere in there. Here's a good one. BraveStarr. Because they were different.
Yeah.
They were really different. Like, in the cartoon, they gave BraveStarr, like, a ponytail, and I think he was Native American in the cartoon. And the toys...
What was this toy?
The toys had the guns. That,
like, no, I remember what they looked like, but I guess he wasn't Native.
He wasn't, like, I mean, I guess you could say that...
He had dark hair, right?
Yeah, he had dark hair and a hat, but they were, like, really big toys. And the cartoon, like, I liked the cartoon quite a bit. And again, I think that's one where you can interchange, but like, I think the toys were more inspiring to me than the cartoon. Actually,
I saw like 2 episodes and never bought a toy.
Okay, that's a good way to...
The only BraveStarr toy I had was the V-Gun.
Oh, you did have that?
Yeah, they had a V-Gun.
Oh, the V one, yeah.
Yep.
Those were great looking. So, was that like Captain Power where you could like... How did that work? Oh,
it was just like a gun with a sparkler and it didn't do anything.
I think that the figures had backpacks and you could shoot it.
Yes, they did. You could shoot it. Yeah, they were Captain Power sort of. They can't. I forgot about it.
Right.
You could shoot it to TV and.
Well, since we're talking Captain Power, how about that? Did you ever watch that show?
Like 15 minutes.
Dude, that show was good. You didn't like it?
No.
I loved it. It was. I think it was written by J. Michael Straczynski or something. But I liked that show. But I like the toys too, so I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd say Cops and Crooks, but you said you didn't like either of them.
Wasn't into it, yeah.
I like both the cartoon and the toys, but I think that goes in the same category as G.I. Joe, where it's like they both had, like, I thought the cartoon was good in its own right, but the toys were definitely more of a realistic tone.
I think I probably like the cartoon a little bit more.
Yeah, you don't like those toys.
Not my thing.
I don't understand, because I wanted to do a Cops retrospective, and you're like, I don't have any interest. I mean, I'm not saying that you would do it.
It's not my thing. Yeah, not into it.
I loved Cops. I still love Cops. Here's a good one, and I don't know if you're gonna know this. War Planets Shadow Raiders. Do you remember War Planets Shadow Raiders?
No.
All right, I'll describe it to you. The toys were made by Trendmasters, and they were just planets. With like little minifigures, and then you could open up the planets in like sort of like Mighty Max. You remember Mighty Max?
Mm-hmm. And then when were these out?
Late 90s, like 97, 98.
Yeah, that was way after me.
So then the cartoon was made, and it was by Mainframe Studio, who did Beast Wars.
Yep.
And they did a whole thing where they created characters, and like it was a whole different thing. It was so much cooler than the original toy line. I think they actually went back, and in Canada, you could get they made a new toy line which was more based off the cartoon Shadow Raiders, but I wish you were familiar with them because it was so drastically different. It was such a different. It's like
they sound terrible. Like what you're describing. Oh yeah. Planets. I mean that. No, I wouldn't be into it, man. Like no, not a chance.
It was definitely like late '90s thing where I was definitely an adult collector at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I was like
that would be my early college years.
Yeah.
No, I was doing drugs. Sorry, I was drinking, smoking, getting laid at that time.
You were a badass. Here's one, Bionic 6. The die-cast metal action figures.
Those were alright. Those were sweet. I know. I never saw the cartoon.
Okay, I liked the cartoon, but I'm going to go with the toys because the toys were die-cast metal. And, like, in the cartoon, from what I remember, is they were, like, a really corny family. Like, they were like a family, and it was just, like, it was really corny to me.
I don't know if I saw one of those or not.
Really?
Like, I remember I liked the toys. I thought the toys were neat.
Yeah, the toys were, I mean, it was so weird because they were die-cast metal action figures. And it was just something different.
And that was 90s too, right?
No, that was 80s, man.
When?
I'm going to say 87, but, like, that's just coming from my...
I never owned any of them. I just remember seeing them.
Only a few more. Inhumanoids.
Definitely the toys.
Yeah, the cartoon was good though.
I know, I like that. But that was dark as shit.
That was dark as shit. Yeah. I actually remember it was the cartoon that got me to buy one. I bought Herc Armstrong.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, the bad guys were sort of scary. I remember his rib cage would open up or something like that.
Yeah, they were like creepy trees that like
they grew into. They were mutoids. What were they called? Something with mutant in it.
I can't think of it. I remember the figures. I liked them, but they were weird because they were essentially like. This is what I guessed.
Watered down Centurion.
No, I get that. They
had the same coloring, the removable helmets, but they were shitty.
Oh, I didn't think they were shitty.
They weren't shitty, but it was like...
What I think, they weren't very articulated. But what I remember from them is the heads were really small, and I think what it was I think they were essentially like a 3 3/4 inch scale figure in a mech suit, like a big giant suit.
They were bigger than 3 3/4.
No, they were, but like the heads were really tiny.
They just didn't. They were out of scale.
Yeah, I think I think what it was it was like a guy was 3 3/4 inch, but then they get in this armor suit and then become tall. But I'm not sure if that was the concept of the toy line or they just had small heads so you could fit the helmets on. So I don't know. Anyone answer that question about Inhumanoids? Were the mech suits or the suits really large, like to make the character bigger, or were the heads just made small so they could fit the helmets? I'd like to know. Spiral Zone.
You know, I gotta be honest. I never saw the cartoon.
Ooh,
but I love the toys.
You never saw the cartoon?
No.
That was dark.
That's what I mean, you were telling me about it, and I can't believe I've never seen it.
You should...
Actually, I remember the opening to
it, it was creepy as hell, man.
Yeah, but...
It was like little zombie kids. It was
I had to have seen... I don't remember. I can't recall a cartoon.
Oh, man. I can't believe you didn't see Spiral Zone as a kid.
Those were my Aliens figures. I'd use them for...
Oh, really?
To play Aliens.
Did you have them as a kid?
I had a couple of them. Yeah.
I remember KB had them on sale, like, towards the end, like 3 for $10 or whatever, and it was just... It was just such a good value because those figures were really well made.
They're sort of like the predecessor to M.A.S.K.
M.A.S.K.
Sort of, yeah, totally. It's sort of like, they cloth and mixed materials, and they're sweet.
And they're my aliens. Yeah, the vehicles were really cool too. Like, Dirk Courage, the main character, had that cool, like, there's a motorcycle, and then he had this cool wheel
I remember
vehicle.
the huge like, wheel thing.
It was really cool. It was really unique, but I liked the cartoon equally because it was really dark. I don't know if this one's going to fit, but how about we'll do this a little different? Like, there was the Rambo toys, which were based off Rambo and the Forces of Freedom.
Yeah.
And then there was Rambo the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, can you compare the two? Or
no, I mean, like... I can't believe that cartoon ever existed.
I cannot believe it either.
Like the 80s.
It was
man.
good though.
Loved the 80s. They made a Rambo.
Rambo. They made like equally as weird as Rambo was obviously RoboCop, which we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean the most inappropriate things for children that you could ever. I mean, how would you explain Rambo? You know.
Yeah, no, it was
veteran.
It was really
tearing
weird.
it up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Here's a similar toy line, but not in the same like material. But like, there was the Ghostbusters and there was real Ghostbusters, and they're both good in their own right. But
I hated the Ghostbusters.
The movie?
No, the
real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I hated the toy line in the cartoon.
Me too.
Because
I'm admitting it, I did too.
But I mean, I think everybody sort of did. But it's aged well, hasn't it? Like, a lot of people dig it now, but I hated it. In the day, no, I wouldn't give it a chance.
I remember it being really well done for like the time, but I did not like it because it was so drastically different.
Couldn't give it a chance. I refused.
You know what I preferred? I preferred the Filmation Ghostbusters cartoon. You remember that one?
Yep.
I liked it a lot. I liked the opening was just really wacky and trippy.
Yeah, that was old school, man.
People will tell you, like, I haven't seen real Ghostbusters cartoon in a long time, but people will tell you that it was really good.
I know a lot of people dig it, but I don't care.
I didn't connect with it either.
Yeah, I don't like it when they readapt or like reinvent something that like not Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? That was
so what like. But sometimes things translate well. Like, I liked the Rambo, but it's weird. But like, I thought the character.
Did you see Rambo the movie? See,
God,
that's
no.
like.
Did you?
I saw First Blood Part 2.
Yes,
like, as a kid.
Yes.
And I mean, personally, I didn't really like the movie that much because
you were a 9-year-old kid.
Yeah, I was a 9-year-old kid. Like this is really grim.
This is grim as hell.
Like, and thank God I didn't see the first one. The first one was even worse.
Oh my God! Like that. Like this is a real movie. Like,
yeah, but I mean, my grandfather didn't give a shit. It was he took us to see some of the craziest.
I could just imagine your grandpa taking you to go see Rambo, like you and your brother.
I saw Fatal Attraction in the with my whole family, like 10.
How awkward was that?
It wasn't even awkward because I didn't even know like I didn't understand what I was like. Why is he touching her? Like I was like covering my own eyes. Like, I don't want to see this. That was.
The first R-rated movie I saw at the theater with my family was Stand By Me, but like that was like an appropriate first movie to take your kids to.
I saw it too. I was bored.
Oh,
no, I mean
crazy.
I liked it, but it was like
crazy.
Nah, I liked like action movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I love the dynamic of those kids. The only thing that would have made it R was the F-bombs that they dropped. You know, they dropped a lot. Oh man, you're crazy.
I like Clint Eastwood. Like, I mean, that's what my grandfather taking us to see movies.
Stand By Me was such a like, especially like at the time, like I was probably close to the age of those guys, and I was like, I was into it, man. That's actually to this day still one of my favorite movies.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't believe it. And the last one, then. I can't believe you don't like Stand By Me.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, whatever.
Like Stand By Me, Goonies, Monster Squad,
I like Goonies,
all that shit.
Stand By Me, it's a little heavy-handed.
It is a little heavy, but like that's what was so good about it. It was like I was like a 7th grader, and
it's too pouty, man. I like the upbeat. I like guns. I like Clint Eastwood movie. You know, I mean, like I really liked my guns and violence and stuff. So yeah, mine was a little.
You didn't want to use the old noggin when you went to see a movie.
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I just liked it to be like I liked action, man. Like downbeat, depressing films aren't really my deal, man.
Yeah, you know? I mean, I guess it was.
Especially when I was a kid, I was like, nah, I wanted to see something.
I remember seeing.
Like, I didn't think it was that much of a thinker.
Do you remember?
As much as like.
Do you remember the? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But do you remember the movie The Boy Who Could Fly?
Yeah, that was a bummer
that was
too.
A bummer.
Hated it.
I did not like that because I was going into that thinking that was a totally different movie than it was, and I remember coming out of that and I was like, I don't know what I just saw, but I am so fucking sad. I remember that being a bummer. But stand by me. I'm going to agree to disagree.
That's okay, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last one, Beast Wars. I know you like neither, so I think you're going to say toys, right?
I'll pass on both. I don't like either one.
I love them both more than G1.
Yeah, which one do I dislike the most?
Which one do you dislike the most?
I hate the cartoon more than anything because the animation sucks. I hated that animation.
I agree. Season 1 was rough.
Early. The
Mainframe Studios.
Yeah, I hate them both.
I love them both. Man. I love them both equally. And we'll end it there. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Nerd Out. Until next time, Nerd Out! That was like redundant. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Nerd Out, Nerd Out. Nerd Out, Nerd Out. All right.
I think you were getting upset, man. You were getting